Again, here at the Forbes Under 30 Summit here in Cleveland. Nick, when you look at regional sports networks, RSNs, and everybody's deep into it.
Yep.
MLB had the little first lick, and now here we are, NHL and NBA are up, and there's going to be a lot of dialogue there. When you look at the regional sports network, that entire ecosystem, what do you see?
I think the first thing is you have to have a mentality that when you go through adversity within the business, you have to quickly get to what is the opportunity. What can happen from this that can make us better? I'd say one of the things that's making us a lot better as a team and as a league is we're really focused, as I said earlier, on that direct to fan relationship. Forever it's been this bundle we've been able to, quite frankly, cash a check from somebody, and now we have to get smarter. We have to be better with data. We have to be better with how we engage, and we have to be stronger in that way. I think, and so that'd be one. Two is, look, everything is going through such an evolving media landscape right now, and I really don't know if it ever settles again. Fragmentation and segmentation is here to stay for a long time. Streaming was the advent of that. I think some people think it's going to cycle back over to like a streaming bundle eventually. It very likely could, but I do think you have to look at it for, once again, the opportunity it can create now. Through this new environment as it's evolving, we can get right to somebody on their smartphone. We can get right to somebody on their tablet. We can get right to somebody in their living room. And so the way I look at it is it's now evolved a suite of options for us to be more prolific in more places. Yeah. And so you have to stay focused on that. The finances are going to be what the finances are in the short term. They're not going to be great for the teams. They're not going to be great for everybody involved, quite frankly. They're not going to be great for the RSNs. They're not going to be, the whole ecosystem is being disrupted. And you know, our chairman, Dan Gilbert, has something. He talks about money and numbers don't lead, they follow. And I firmly believe that in this scenario. We cannot lead with what the money and numbers are. We have to lead with what is the best opportunity for us to engage with our fans and become more embedded into their lifestyles. And I think that can come from this. And ultimately that can create the opportunity for us and restart some of the momentum we have at the local media level.
I know a lot of it's still kind of in the motions, right? And
it is.
You can't conclude this stuff right now. But there have been some teams making some moves. Mm-hmm. Some teams went direct to consumer. Utah, Phoenix, they're doing things differently. Anything that you see, even outside of the NBA, that a team is doing that you're paying attention to?
Yeah, look, we're monitoring it out closely. We've been working on this for almost 2 years now. And so we have a lot of thoughts and a lot of kind of strategies. We have to be respectful. There's a bankruptcy proceeding that's going on, and we're very respectful of the Diamond team that's working through that, the NBA, our teams. I do think when you look at something like Phoenix has done, or when you look at something that Utah has done in an over-the-air kind of combo model with a direct-to-consumer program, I think that's really interesting because in over-the-air, you automatically get into more households. I think what still has to catch itself up a little bit is the value of our local rights. You know, I also think the one thing I keep a closer eye on is the national deal that's coming up, which will be negotiated here in the coming months and year. That really is an opportunity for us to reset a holistic strategy as a league. And I know the league is all over it. They have some of the best and brightest minds focused on it. And so those are the combinations of what I look to. And then I also think you should also look at what's worked abroad. So within, European Premier League, La Liga, they really, the world is their ecosystem. And so I think we have to start thinking about that. And I mentioned Cleveland to the world earlier. We have to start thinking about how do we harness that ecosystem locally, nationally, and then internationally, because that ultimately is really important. And the last thing I'd say is part of the reason why we decided on having Brazil, for instance, as an international
Took the words right from my mouth. That was my follow-up. You're good at this now.
All right. Well, you want to ask it, go ahead.
Go right ahead.
Well, part of the reason why we did, I'll keep it short, Jabari, is because when you look at Brazil, one, we have 1.8 million fans there that identify as Cavs fans. Two is second largest League Pass subscription outside of the United States is in Brazil. 2/3 of their population is under the age of 35, so the demos fit. And probably the most important one is, give or take an hour, our content is in the same time zone as them. So it's very salient, it's very real time, and so we have to start thinking about that now as opposed to just one country, but the rest of the world, right? Yeah. And so I think that ultimately really helps us to restore the vibrancy to the media ecosystem, because it really is the world's game. I mean, basketball is the second most popular sport across the globe, and we've got to be always thinking about how and obsessed with how we can make the most of that.
Yeah.